Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Fatback Four with the LFC Daytrippers. I'm Gavin. With me tonight, I have got Kev, I have Keith, and I have Seany. We're going to look back at Manchester City 2, Liverpool 2 from the Etihad earlier on this afternoon. We're also going to chat a little bit, maybe about Benfica during the week. The return game against City in an FA Cup semi-final next Saturday. And we're also going to talk about our charity partner as well. Keith.
Gav.
Straight to you, straight into it. And before I do, sorry, if you're in the chat, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, because 40% of you that watch this stuff haven't subscribed. But hit the subscribe if you want, like, share, but most of all, comment in there. We read some out as we go along. But Keith, Manchester City 2, Liverpool 2. I want to say it's a good point for Liverpool at the end. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, a point at the Etihad, at the end of the day, it's a good point. I think we're looking at the context and throwing in the towel about the league. I think that's given extra weight to the bad point merchants out there. But I just think we went in there, we were poor, and we're going to go on and talk about Liverpool. They were poor today, and we came away with a point. And I think that's a positive. I think there's still a lot to play for. I think it was vital that we didn't lose the game. Ideally, we win the game, but we draw, so everything stays as it is. I've said for a long time, I think we're going to win the league. That was key. The key to that was that we win today or not lose today. So I'm still of the opinion that we can still do it because there's going to be more twists or turns, but we need to improve. Never mind City, we need to improve because if you look now at teams like Spurs a few weeks ago didn't look like it was going to be much of a threat at Anfield. Different kettle of fish now. We have to improve our performances. Certain individuals have to improve. But a point at City, coming back from 2 down, reacting like we did, yeah, I'm happy enough with the point. Hopefully we can look back on it and be celebrating it at the end of the season and not another one that got away. But you take that and you move on. You get out of there. It's not the worst. It's been like a post-mortem for Liverpool fans ever since the end of the game. And I understand that it's, you don't want to drop points, but we didn't go too far behind. It's still, it's not totally gone there now. If City had gone 4 points ahead, I think then that's a big ask because you're looking at them dropping in 2 games at least. You'd need them to drop in. Now, 1 game, they just need to drop points, so it's still possible. Look, Motasir Ali says City are favourites, but it's not over. And that's it, City are a great team. We've said it all along. City are a great team. Liverpool are a great team. It's still on. It would have been nice to have the buffer, but, we're not out of it, and that's the important thing.
Seany, we'll get into the team. We'll get into the moments in the game, the goals, disallowed goals, a couple of yellow cards in there. There's a couple of talking points. It was a game that went, like you boys were all saying before we come on, stressed out the bits watching it. You can hardly remember some of it because it was just so stressful. Kev is up the wall. But overall, Seany, when you look at it, on the balance of the game, you're taking that point, aren't you?
Yeah, I think you kind of always, as football fans, you look at these things in microcosm before the game, and then even more so, like you just had to take it as it is, and that's the way it was. Really, that's the way the game played out. We didn't turn up in the first half, and I have no issue with the result in the context of the game. But I don't mind us playing badly, Gap, but I felt like a few of them bottled it today. That's what annoyed me. The goals we conceded are uncharacteristic, and I just feel like a few of the big players, and it's not often they do, but a few of the bigger players let us down today. But we fought, we scrapped, and we didn't die. We could have died today. This could have been over today.
Yeah.
On with Keith, I think 4 points with 7 to go would have been a big thing to ask because you're not expecting Liverpool just to be perfect. Then you're waiting for City to drop points in more than 1 game, so it would have been a big task. But Not much change today. I think maybe they felt. I feel like City had an opportunity to put nails in the coffin today, and they didn't. And I think
Exactly.
you might be looking back now at the end of May, thinking, "Oh, Mahrez's chance. What if?" You know what I mean? And with these two, Gav, the last, can we say 4 or 5 years,
4.
the 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 margin has been millimeters at times. That's how tight it's been. So you need to understand you've no divine right to go into these competitions and win them. And all we can do is compete until the very last kick. And I believe we will. Um, and that's all you can ask for, really. They responded when they had to respond today. I just feel, had we gone there and shown a bit more steel and a bit more bottle in the first half, there could have been more in that game for us, because everyone's going on about how brilliant City they were, but they were rattled up at points as well. Like, sure, Edison didn't know what he was doing. He had to
Yeah.
pass on off his own line. They looked shaky at the back. They took their chances before we did. So it's one of them when you kind of walk away from me, we're both going to dust ourselves off and say, all right, though, we've kind of dealt with each other now. You have your 7 and we have our 7. I'll say at the end of the race sort of thing, and it's a sprint now. There's no doubt about it.
Oh yeah, it's a
I
7
feel
game.
I'm still in the. I said earlier on, I got people piling on Twitter and all, but to be honest with you, I don't really give a bollocks because it's Twitter. But I genuinely believe if we win our segment games, we'll win the league,
You have
and
to,
it's
and
no,
some.
it's simple as that. And if you doubt this team, because I put my hand up, we were out of this, and now we're back in it. And you look at that today. They fucking know they're in it. And they're going to be in a game next Saturday again. And they'll have it in the back of their head if they manage to get through against Atletico and manage to get through against Real Madrid. They're going to be meeting us again. So if they want the spoils, we have to beat they have to beat us. And vice
Yeah.
versa.
Hmm.
We didn't show up today and we didn't lose. So for me, there's positives to the negatives. I feel a bit like I was saying to Gab. I don't remember a whole lot of the game. It's a blow. When it was all over, even the analysis after, I was kind of going, "That was fucking mad." I was like a bit of an out of body experience or something. It was weird. Um, I couldn't pick holes and I really I just feel like we didn't perform to our standard, but I feel like we sort of got away with it.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. And we will get into the game, as I said. Kev, when you look at the game and you look at the way it went, I think Liverpool do really well to come from behind twice. I think City will be coursing, not so much their luck. I think that's the wrong way to put it, but coursing the fact that they haven't won that game. Because I'll say it again, Pep Guardiola knows Liverpool didn't turn up to their max today. Now, having said that, I give City some credit because I don't think Liverpool turned up to their max because of some of the things City done in the way they played and the tactics they brought into the game, and fair play to them. But he's tried to do something there today, Pep, for me, where he's really hassled Liverpool at the back. He doesn't want them playing out the back. He doesn't want to get Thiago or Henderson getting on it and turning. He doesn't want easy balls into Salah and Mane, that they can then pick out the likes of a Jota or whatever. And they'll be a little bit upset, I think, after this one. But we have to be happy with that point, Kev, on the balance of the game.
Absolutely. I mean, what Shawnee was saying earlier on there about the difference between the two sides. Over the last 4 years, the difference is a point. That's all it is. If you look at the points totals for the two clubs for the last 4 years, I think the difference is a point. There's nothing in it. It's a fact paper between the two. City's decision making in the final third today cost them 3 points. They were through a couple of times. Sterling should have scored inside the first couple of minutes. Jesus should have cut back into De Bruyne, who was clear inside the box for a tap in, would have put him 2 ahead. And there was the one at the end where Mahrez went for a showboat, where all he had to do was roll the ball to the side, and Grealish was in for a tap in. Decision making. It cost Barcelona, and hopefully it'll cost City. That's all it was. They were very good. They were very good in the first half. They did to us what we used to do to most teams. They forced us to play into areas that we didn't want to play into. They were very, very good at it. And God give them credit. They were that first half, in large parts of it, they were brilliant. But we showed when we got our foot on the ball and were able to put passes together and got a bit braver on the ball that we could get at them. We just didn't do it enough. And it's the frustration. I think that the build up for this game has been building up for 10 weeks, 11 weeks. Since we knew what the points gap was, we could plot our way through to today, to what we had to do to get to today. And the most important thing today was not lose. Be in the race up until the last day. And the minimum we had to get out of there today was a point. And that was the absolute minimum we had to get, and we got it. We'll go there at another time, play a lot better and lose.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is. Football is just one of those games. Not everything is going to go to plan, and not everything is going to go the way you want it all the time. And sometimes you got to take your hat off to the opposition and say when they get it right, they got it right. There was a couple of things today that they did were absolutely brilliant. Kevin De Bruyne is an outstanding footballer. Any other era, he's head and shoulders above virtually any midfielder in Europe at the minute in world football. He's different level. When he's on it, when you allow him that bit of time, he uses class. He is something else. And to think that what they picked him up for and how long he's been there and what he's won while he's been there, you can label him with money and this and that. They've assembled arguably the best squad or the best side this league has ever seen. And we're neck and neck with them every year for the last 4 years. Bar last year because of injuries, but more often than not, the reason they're as good as they are is because we're on their tail all the time, keeping them honest.
We do, and like Pep, I think Pep was trying to be a bit like, they have difficult games, we have difficult games. He's a bit on the fence, Pep, and I think he's right to. I don't think he's going to come out and say anything decisive in this, and Klopp won't either. I don't think it's all about and they can only concentrate on themselves now. The only thing you'd be looking for is who plays before each other at any given weekend.
We play before them most weeks.
Yeah, after this weekend, obviously, or next weekend when we play in the FA Cup. But for me, I'm saying both teams be unhappy to draw, but I probably think on the other side of the coin, they probably come away and Pep is saying, I didn't want to lose it. And with 5 minutes to go, either team could have won it. It could have been an absolute killer blow towards the end. Liverpool were looking to try win it. City were looking to try win it. And I think both of them knew there was a bit of carrot and stick, wasn't there? It was a bit, we could go and win this, but don't fucking lose it. It was very cup final, I thought, in the last 15.
Yeah.
It was very cup final without the threat of
a cagey 2-all.
Yeah, and
we're rarely seeing cagey 2-all.
We get into all the different things because
I'm not sure if it was even. I'm there's nothing cagey about the backlines being 20 yards.
No, cagey is probably the wrong word.
It's literally it was like a shootout towards the end, and that's my major. I thought we were better in the second half. I don't think we did enough to trouble them in the second half. I know we get the goal early, but I don't think we did. And lads, like Kev said, going back, you don't even have to pick the bones out of this game today. Just this whole Liverpool City story, regardless of what any Arsenal or a United fan has.
Listen, sick
no,
of that.
Look, we won't go into that. But what I'm saying is, 1 point since 18-19 is mad.
Yeah.
339 to 338, I think it was the commentary prepared.
Yeah. It's obscene.
We've been head to head, and this is a year.
I think we're both about 80 points clear of the next team.
We blew the league open one year. They did it last year. We fell apart. But just it can come down to anything. There's been so much in this story between Liverpool and City. If you think that's just going to be the end of it for not just this year.
Yeah, it's going again.
Altogether. Pep turned around and said after the game today, people might be downbeaten on and turned around saying they won't do this. Pep's literal words after the game is, if we drop a point, we're dead.
Yeah.
We won't win. We won't win the league because that's how good they are.
And Klopp comes out and says, we said when we were X amount of points behind that we had to win. I think he said something like 18 league games. We could afford one slip up, and that would have been today. Where he means not taking full points, that would have been today. And now we knew this position was coming, and we now know that this position still exists.
There's so much football to be played, like, and you're mad on the quad, and this is why you never stuck for me, because when you go through this game today, like, and then you have to do that again on Saturday, you realise how difficult it is.
Yeah.
It's mad. Like, there's zero, bar probably Tuesday or Wednesday when we play again. There's literally zero margin for error now between now and the end of the season.
No, none whatsoever.
You could literally give 95% in every game and win nothing.
You might get one. You might get one margin for error if you get a good lead in the semi-final. John,
and that's it.
Yeah, and that's it, yeah. John Nightingale says, lads, Liam Gallagher has offered me straighteners on Twitter after a 2-2 draw. These are the greatest of times. Drinking in. Liam Gallagher's offering you straighteners. Take it on him. I'd say you could take him, John. I'd say you could take him. Laszlo says the levels are ridiculous. Klopp said that we needed to win 18 games on one draw, and this was the draw we could afford. He's right. And Pep is right. You know, drop a point and you're dead. Because he knows these two teams just, you know, we're talking about you've United at home, we've Everton at home, we've Spurs at home, they're three of our last, I think we've 4 games at home left, and they're 3 of them, you know, that sort of way. I think we travel away to Villa, don't we? We travel away to Southampton, and Wolves is our other home game. I can't remember the other away game, but, you know,
Newcastle, is it?
Newcastle, you're right, Newcastle. But they both know they're not silly, and look, they've probably had the discussion between themselves after going, yeah, because they talk. There's no doubt about it, and they know that even when they're sitting having that nice wine that Pep said it'd be lovely after the game, they both know, looking at each other's eyes, that the first one to blink. And we said this a while back when Liverpool were 8 points behind. Whoever blinks first. Liverpool haven't blinked yet. They've just stared each other down today. City probably a bit better at the staring than we were, but at the end of the day, we come out and it is, you know, as it was at, you know, 4:29 this afternoon. Keith, the team itself, now I'm not going to go through the whole lot, but
yeah,
I'm going to throw it out there to you, and it's a strange one. I was amazed Firmino didn't start. Now I'm saying that in the thing that the two I probably would have, if you had to pick one or two that you would have brought him in for, would have been Jota or Mane, both score.
Yeah,
but it was a bit strange for me that Firmino didn't start, and Seany said to me earlier, really? And I was like, yeah, because I always felt that City might come out and try be really hyper in that midfield, and Firmino had an off day, and that probably compounds the issue. But I thought Firmino coming in there, he could have just went into midfield, disrupted them, and went right the 2 boys out wide, do the damage. But what did you think of the team?
Yeah, I agree with you, to be honest. I would have probably played Firmino, but you know, Jota gets the goal, but I think Jota's performance was sort of summed up in that didn't really do anything except score and get another couple of chances by being in the right place, you know, and that's the type of player he is. He gets chances, he takes them. What Firmino does, we all know, Firmino will drop that bit deeper, he'll sit on Rodri's lip and try and nick the ball, and that's what I felt we just didn't do. Our pressing was fucking awful today. Now, I know a lot of players were off the boil, but all you seen in the first half was Henderson just rushing at their defenders while the forwards all stood around and done fucking nothing. It was a weird one. Bobby will do that. Bobby will sort of get in around, like I said, in around Rodri and try and nip at them there. But Bobby being, I think if you play Bobby, you need Mo to be firing. Do you know what I mean? Like having Bobby sitting in there and creating space, it's not really any use if Mo is off the boil. So maybe you did need a Jota in there to take any chances, any scraps that come, because you know you can do it 2 ways against Man City. You can go in and you can try and blow the arse off them early and see how that gets you, or you can be cagey about it. And obviously we were cagey today in the sense that we didn't really go at them too much. But other than that, I felt that was the only sort of change. A lot of people saying Diaz. I think Diaz is amazing, but I think you said it, Gav. The idea of bringing Diaz on to impact it. It didn't work out, but he's one that you'd look at maybe coming on at 60 or 70 minutes and saying, right, you get in there and give them something else to worry about. Whereas if you're probably bringing on Bobby or Jota, maybe you're probably not going to get the same impact, because we all know pace is king in a lot of these players. But, you know, whatever way you done it, there'll always be a contentious one. Do you know what I mean? Like, people will say, where's Diaz? Not many are saying, where's Bobby? But if you had a dropped Salah, where's Salah? Where's Sadio? You know, we have 5 really good forward players. We 5 really good forward options, and wherever 3 goes with for any given game, I think, you know, they've done it for us in the past. A lot of the traditional 3. Jota has done it in the 2 years he's been there, and now Diaz looks like he's able to do it at the moment. So look, whatever he goes with. But hindsight's a great thing. You know, it's easy to blame the forwards today when we'll move on to the other players, but I've never seen our back four and our holding midfield are playing as bad as they did in that first half, and it just impacted the whole team, you know. So the starting lineup, I wouldn't have changed anything in the back four, anything in the midfield, and it was only the forwards that you could throw it up and say, well, we could have done this or we could have done that. Hindsight's a great thing. We can all say now, I would have played Blade and anyone else.
Well, I said it before Fabinho, the game.
Would have played. Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, Fabinho has a game that was just as bad as he's ever played for us. You know, he was just so sloppy, which he's giving the ball away all the time, just getting caught in possession. You know, it's not what we expect to see from him. And the defence then treating the ball like a hot potato. Every time they got it, they were just bleeding, milling it everywhere. It wasn't how we like to play. Now, City put us under pressure, and City did pile their own, but you know, we expect more from them because we've seen it. We've seen the consistency that they've given us over the years. So you look at the team, and it's easy to pick the bones out. But at the time, I was happy enough to see who it was. So,
okay, Seany, just going into, you know, you can touch on the team if you want, how you felt about it. I think you were quite happy with it. But let's talk the first 15 minutes as a block, right? So we're not stuck on every single issue in the game or every single piece of what happened. But in the first 15 minutes, Seany, Sterling has a good open in the early minutes. Fabinho fails and then gets slow off the free kick and gets De Bruyne goes by him. Alisson has it covered until it hits Matip and it goes in. City are just everywhere, buzzing around the place, and we seem to be taking ages to get going in this game. Jota scores, you know, on 14 minutes, I think it is. And then, but for them first 15 minutes, Seany, it was a real case of, keep mentioning, you go out and blow the arse off City and see what happens. I think City tried to do that to us, and we just didn't adapt for that first 15. But still, after 15 minutes, found ourselves at 1-0.
I can't imagine they could believe the sort of round in time they were getting on the ball to start the game, that magnitude. Everyone goes on about the high line. Again, City loads of chances today that were offside.
Yeah.
And it was plays won't be touched on, but it would be like the high line causes issues. And it did today because they played it well for the second one. But the thing that annoys me most about the first one is that sometimes you just have to play fucking percentages in these games and just swipe at it and get it out. But trying to play out when the ball was bouncing around. Van Dijk normally, his defensive headers are normally safe into a position where we can regain possession and either move the ball or recycle it. But today he went, Fabinho, no real control over what he was doing, and it was just like bleeding hot potato for the first goal. That's what drove me mad, because you could see it coming a mile off. Mane tries to turn on it and tries to play a pass when he should be just swiping it into the stands and getting shape again and going from a throw-in. They played a quick free kick, catches short. Fabinho's flat-footed, deflection goes in. These things happen. It's similar to the goal they get at Anfield, the second day, the Bruyne one. We panicked in and out possession. I didn't think we are brave enough either way, either going forward or defensively. The one move we do put together, it's lovely, ends up in the back of the net. Clinical. What we needed to be, really, we were going to get at now this game. Yeah. And which we kind of were in the end, because we didn't have a lot of chances, but the real ones that came away, we managed to make them count. We weren't ourselves. They did press as well, but we didn't press. Do you know what? It reminded me of the first leg away to Madrid last year, when you're standing off all these players of quality, Cancelo, De Bruyne, Bernardo, Rodri. They can all pick a pass. If you're going to play with your defensive line 25 to 30 yards up the pitch, you've got to be putting pressure on them from the front. And I think it was a chain reaction. It caused a midfield to be out of whack.
A concerted effort, though, Seany, not just one fella going and hoping.
No, exactly.
It has
No,
to be
but press the way we do.
Has to be a block of players going, yeah.
Press the way we do, and we just didn't. And even in the second half, I don't think we did. I don't think there was no real. Normally, you see like Stones getting the ball and you kind of act as a trigger, but they were kind of just pressing on their own. It was weird. That's the annoying thing to me. That's what's annoying me now. When I think about the game, look, we didn't play well. We are good in patches. We didn't play well. If we'd have been beaten today, you could have been like, you're right. You take your licks and that's it. But we didn't play well.
But you see the goal, like their goal, it's a deflection. But unless you take the shot, you're not in. And
yeah, but exactly. Boy, if you deal with if you do what you're supposed to do in the lead up phases,
yeah.
You're not enough opportunities to deal with it.
Yeah. We put ourselves in position to get that free kick against us, and then we're not in shape quick enough, and he skips by Fabinho. He hits that shot as a deflection. But these you can talk about deflection, but this all leads on from decision making, I suppose.
Smallest of margins in these games. Do you know what? I thought Alisson was shy today. I thought he put us under big pressure, and I haven't seen anybody talking about it. I thought he was shy. I even thought he was shy coming out. Sterling, the one he scores offside, he's shy for. I think he's normally never been in one-on-ones like that. He just rolled the ball under him.
Yeah.
Is in just a nonchalant dinks into midfield for the second goal. It's his fault. Well, it wasn't remarked on because the ball went dead, but he clips one into the midfield when the game's at 100 miles an hour. Like, it was just so many of our big players were off today, and it's just not what you expect. I always say, if Alisson, Virgil and Fabinho are fit, they won't let you lose games. But if they turn up the way they did today, then you couldn't hang your account on any of them performances. And that's an anomaly in the season. You don't normally see them. That's as bad as I've seen Fabinho play. Virgil turned around just passing the ball straight out of play. At one stage, I was going, what is going fucking on here? I know we're playing City, but come on the fuck. It was like there was a serious lack of belief in the first half. And that when we went in 2-1.
And all leaders as well. Leaders not doing a Robbo as well. The same at left full, like keep playing balls back into.
And one thing I will say, credit to City, they're the first side I've ever seen isolate the left-hand side of our defence. Have a proper go at it.
Yeah.
And they did. And they caused us problems because obviously we were set up for the Doyard going the other way.
Yeah.
Over Brent. But they didn't really. They targeted Robbo. And he struggled. He was on a yellow after early. Look, just one of them things we could just. It's hard to kind of.
It's not just one thing, is it?
The more I think about it now, the happier I am with the point. To be honest with you, because I thought it would have to be another really rare day for us to be as bad or worse.
No, I can't see it. And we speak all the time about little kicks that Liverpool get, and
just on that cab, we did that well today. Niggling and kicking, and stopping and just being slow. We did that well today. When I think times gone by, we've been a little bit too nice, but we did it well today, and I think that might have contributed to us getting the point. To be honest, because what normally we can be too nice, to be honest.
Afraid to take that yellow, afraid to take that.
But so like the
tactical foul in the midfield.
Virgil does it to De Bruyne, and De Bruyne just gets up and goes right, fair enough. It is what it is, sort of thing, and that's what I have massive respect for KDB, the way he carries himself on and off the pitch. I think he's a class act. I think he's way too.
There's not many like him
in terms of how he carries himself, because they're a gang of shites.
Kev,
I agree.
You know, we Liverpool ain't good in that first half. Well, let's put it up there, right? It's hardly fucking, you know,
Not news.
yeah, it's hardly like earth shattering stuff. But when you see our goal, Thiago gets it. He has time to turn. He hits a fucking brilliant pass, right? But you see immediately the panic in City for me. You know, it's out wide. It goes in. It comes back out, and you can actually hear the crowd going, for fuck's sake. Yeah. Robertson gets on it. It's crossed to the back post. Trent's nearly on his own. Knocks it back into the box. Jota is on his own. It's actually not the best finish. I think Ederson is really poor for it. But it goes in, and you're 13 minutes in, whatever, so say 15 minutes in, and you're saying, we're 1-0, we're 1-1 here. And all we've done is take a ball, hit a raking diagonal, right, which is a pass. It's a brilliant, it's not like you just hit one up there and hope someone wins it. But all we've done is actually get it out wide from a really good pass, make the pitch stretched, get it in the box, there's a bit of panic, we put it back in, and there's literally players like playing like they're in training, a little tap back to him and he scores. And you're kind of saying to yourself, yeah, we've been bad here, Kev, but we're 1-1, and it just shows. And I think Seany said it during the match even. These are a bit scuttery at the back. If you actually just if you get balls wide, if you get balls in, if you show a bit of tempo in around the box, they're a bit twitchy, Kev. And I think for me it was relief in the whole thing that we were 1-1 after 13, because I thought this could go to 25, Kev. We could be 2-0 down, your game over. But it just showed, didn't it, Kev? If we just managed, and I think what I'm trying to say here is City press was really high and didn't want us to play, because they knew if they let us out to play, as much as City can hurt you, we could hurt them, Kev.
That was one of the few times in the whole game that both fullbacks got forward at the same time. I can't think off the top of my head how many times that happened in the 95 minutes of the game today. And you saw what came from it. They were forced to play a different game. They were forced to do something different. And all I was screaming at the telly was just be brave on the ball. Pass through the lines. You know, this is where the difference of having a Jota playing up front and having a Bobby playing up front. That Alisson didn't have anyone to go along to. He was hitting those balls into midfield, or they look like low dagger type passes. And it's almost like a miss kick. And it would frustrate the life out of you, but you can't put it up high in the air because there's no one up there going to win it. You're just giving the ball back to him. So he's got to kind of play careless balls like that at times. There was other times as well in that first half that they did everything humanly possible not to let the ball go out of play. And that carried on through the second half as well. But in fairness, that's where our second goal came from, was not letting the ball go out. But the first half, when we finally got the ball down and Thiago was able to pass that, to lift his head up, it was one of the few times in the first half that he was able to do it. And Trent got forward. You could see that Foden didn't track him back. Foden did nothing in that game. He did virtually nothing.
I was very surprised. I think he had one good run where he went past a few Liverpool players, but he was probably the one I was worried about most, and include the Bruyne in that.
As Seany said, they went the other side, really, didn't they? So.
Yeah, they did. But when Robbo finally went forward as well, because that cross from Robertson into the back state was brilliant. It was an absolutely peach of a delivery. And the cut back and the goal was lovely. It was proper football. It was a proper goal. You know, if that had been a game winner, we'd be eulogizing about the quality of that. But because it's a draw, it just gets glossed over. We talk about the bad stuff. You know, but that was quality. And all I wanted after that was more of that, please. You know, get your foot on the ball and find a way of playing through midfield.
But Kev, I know what you're saying, pass through the lines and stuff like that, but City were making it really difficult to do that. They were making sure they were pressing Van Dijk, in particular, I thought. They were making sure they were getting on top of Fabinho. And was that, like, I'd nearly say it was a bit of, we were refusing to do something different. And
that's where
if that sounds like a pop at Klopp or the players, maybe it is. But what I'm saying is, Kev, nothing sticking up top, right? Fine. Why don't for 5 minutes we just pull long balls down into channels and make them turn and make them put the ball out and get up the pitch and say, you know what, if you want to do this against us, we will just keep hitting balls into channels for Salah, Mane, Jota, and you'll have to play it, or you'll have to put it out, and we'll get field position, or and get ourselves
Virgil's
into
normally
some sort.
quite good at that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, Kev, if you can pass through the lines, like Seany said earlier, you've no divine right to win, right? But you've no divine right to play what way you want to play either. And look, City changed what they usually do for us today. There's no doubt about that in my mind, right? But we should have changed. We should have went, right, okay, hands up. We can't play the way we want to play. So let's hit some longer balls. Let's hit diagonal balls. Let's do something different for 5 minutes just to turn them and even get them away from their defenders or midfielders for a minute. Try win a dropping ball, try win a second ball, and try play from there. I thought Liverpool were a bit naive in what they were trying to do, Kev, especially in the first half, by continuously trying to do something that City were absolutely out to try stop.
Well, you wonder, would they, if you'd have done that and said, right, okay, Trent will go long cross over Kyle Walker's head. Mane is not getting past. Either they didn't have any faith that Mane could one-on-one get past him, or go the other way from Virgil into Salah. They didn't have any faith in Salah going past Cancelo. It had to be something along those lines, because they've done it before. They've done it a few times. The downside of having Jota playing is you don't have anyone coming short into midfield to create an overload. City played a 4-3-3. They had the three-man midfield, and that didn't change throughout the game. Jesus stayed wide, Foden stayed wide, and Sterling stayed pretty high up top. He didn't really drop in and around. Whereas Bobby, if he plays, would have made the extra man in midfield, would have sat on Rodri and gave him a different problem. Plus his ability to come and take possession and relieve pressure is something Jota just doesn't do. And maybe you're right. Maybe they should have tailored the game a bit more when it's not going the way we want it to. Now, either that has to come from Klopp or it has to come from the players. They've been around the block a fair bit. They know what they can do and what they can't do in a game.
And it's not a hard thing to do. Like, if you have her on the right side or the left side as a centre half, right, and you want to put it into a channel like that, all you need to do is you say to Salah on the right or Mane on the left, you just come short. I want you to come short and leave space.
The ball wasn't, Gav. The ball wasn't sticking.
No, I know it wasn't sticking. I'm not asking for it to stick. This is the thing. I'm not asking for the ball to stick. What I'm asking for is if you're having trouble passing the ball out, don't put yourself in danger and don't play into the game that they're absolutely out to play. What I'm saying is if your wingers come a bit short, I don't want it to stick. I just want to go into space. So as soon as Mane comes short, you say to Jota, as soon as he comes short, I want you going running in there.
But you can't do that with fullbacks like Walker and Cancelo. Do you see the time when the ball did go into space on the right hand side against Salah and Walker, how quick he gets across?
Yeah, I understand.
I don't hate Walker, but one of the things
he has massive pace. I'm not saying to be massively effective, but I'm saying
it's the same way Trent is so good offensively for us and what he allows us to do going forward. Walker is so quick; he allows City to play like that because he almost always means that you have somebody there between the goalkeeper and the last attacker. He's going to be there, and that space is not really there for us. I think I'm not
asking for it to stick, Seany. All I'm saying is, I wanted us to show City that we are willing to do something different. That's all I'm saying.
They pressed us, Gav. They pressed us.
I understand they pressed us, but what I'm saying is, I have no problem if we're being pressed. Instead of losing balls in midfield, or like you all said earlier, just kick the ball away instead of trying to play passes. All I'm asking for is just put it down that channel. All right, Walker comes across, gives it back to the goalkeeper. Fine, right? But what I'm saying is Liverpool have a chance to move up the pitch, and City then know, hold on, if we really press this, they could get one right. It's just something to put them in their head.
Well, that's what Spurs done.
I think we played into their hands a little bit as to what they wanted to do to nullify us, and we didn't do anything different to make them think for the first half. That's what I felt.
I just think that we didn't win enough second balls we didn't. Any time the ball broke, it broke to them. We didn't win enough second balls. Fabinho wasn't good. That's normally what he does. Our midfield never really got into the game, I don't think. And that comes from the forward players. not applying pressure on the ball at the same time. Because they were literally, all they had to do was carry the ball up and play one ball over the top. And they were happy to go, you play the trap. If it's offside, it's off. You might get in 1 and 5. If you get in 1 and 5, that's it. Do what you do the cutback. We were shy.
The second goal, Keith, well, 1-1. When I say this game settles down a little bit, possibly does, because it was a mental first 15 minutes. But it settles down. City do have a couple of openings. The second goal does my head in, Keith. And I have to be honest, we clear the corner. It comes out to Cancelo. He has time to take it down, that's fine. We're out well, but I have to be honest with you, Trent should be following him, Keith. Or
he should be stepping up with the line.
But the line, I think even Matip might play him on side. Someone said
Matip's fault.
Matip. Trent was looking at Matip.
Well, was Matip playing him on?
Yeah, but Trent's looking at Matip. But he still has that fella on his shoulder, lads.
Yeah.
Yeah, but lads, they're drilled for the offside.
Like you can't play that line. The idea, I suppose, of playing the line is you stop.
You can't play that in 2 minds. You can't just go on one ball's going over, right, I'll stick to him this time. They're in their head is, right, he's going to play the pass, step up.
Yeah, but Trent knows he's there.
Gav.
Come on, Shawnee. He knows he's there.
It doesn't matter if he knows he's there. Trent is thinking, all right, if we all step up, he's going to be offside. Matip plays him on.
But can he get back at him?
I don't know if he can get back at him.
You're playing in it. You're playing as a unit. You're expecting the three. It's all together. It has to be that way.
But that's symptomatic of the whole game because both Matip and Trent are not in line with the others. Do you know what I mean? So whether Matip is technically playing him on, Trent is behind the line as well.
Who plays him on?
Yeah, well, Matip plays him on, but Trent is there
Trent's
as well.
Looking at Matip.
So they should have a straighter line, and they weren't on it today. None of them are on it.
No, that's what I'm saying. If Trent is looking in at Matip, and he thinks Matip is playing him on, so and Trent's looking at him, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Trent feels he's up with the line.
You don't do that.
You can't do both.
You can't be going,
lads. When you know there's a fella behind you, right?
But God,
and he's making a run.
In our head, if we're all stepping up here, and it's not like you can't just think straight. All right, I'm just gonna go him this time. I'll just go him this time.
Yeah, look, I get that point with regards to Trent trying to get up, and Matip is the one that actually plays him on side. But
in fairness, it was only
looking at Matip.
It's Matip's
it was literally a body whiff. That's all it was.
There was nothing in it. I'm just saying.
There's nothing in it.
I just think if you have your back to a fella and you know he's there, you're not 100%, regardless if the line is up or not.
That's where you have to trust the
Yeah, well, I suppose you have to trust it. But for me, I think, I get what you're. I 100% get what you're saying with regards to we move up as a line and we trust the process and all that.
It's not that. I just don't think you could do both.
But the thing is,
Trent is literally the easiest one to turn around. Didn't do his job defensively today. He was fucking brilliant in the second half defensively.
I'm not talking about the second half.
It's just it's easy to just turn around and go, look at Trent, blame Trent. They fucking playing offside. They play a high line. Yeah. Trent had him offside. Matip played him on.
Yeah. But Trent's looking in at Matip.
It doesn't fucking matter. Matip is the fucking the deepest defender.
Yeah, but if Trent knows Matip is playing him on,
hold on a minute, Shawnee. If I'm a defender and I'm looking in at my defender and I know I'm banging line and I see Matip's not in line and I know there's a fella behind me, I'm not saying Matip's not wrong in this, but I have to turn and go, he's made a bollocks of this. I'm going to have to follow this fella because of him.
What position on the pitch?
What do you mean?
What position was he in?
The left back position.
Left back.
Yeah. Why?
Because they switch from corners, both of them.
But I don't give a fuck what position he's defending from.
What do we play? What's our defensive strategy?
Our defensive strategy is to play offside.
Trap.
Yeah. So and that's fine. But Matip plays him on. Matip plays him on, but he's looking straight at him, Shawnee.
When they drew the line, who kept him on side?
Matip, and who was looking at Matip?
Okay.
So Trent has no responsibility in it, Shawnee.
Yeah, I agree with Gav. I think Trent has responsibility.
Of course he has fucking responsibility. He's standing the nearest to the fella that's attacking. He's looking in. Hold on, Shawnee. If you're the defender and you're looking in at this line and you say, I'm banging line, and there's a fella behind me, and Matip is not in line.
So
He should be.
that,
but
right?
hold on, Sean. He can't just turn around and go, I'm stopping playing, I'm in line.
Why is an Alisson 2 or 3 yards further off his line?
I don't know why Alisson is 2 or 3 yards further off his line.
There you go. You can play him. The fact of the matter is, Liverpool play offside trap from them fucking corners.
Yes, because Shawnee, they all hold on.
If you're the man,
but Shawnee, they don't play a line with a white stick. They play a line by all looking at each other. And what I'm saying is, I'm not saying Trent is wrong on the position he's in. I'm saying the position he's in, when he looks across, he knows he's banging position. If he sees Matip, who's at fault, he plays the man on side. Trent should be saying to himself, fuck, he's not in line. And this fella's running off the back of me. So even if I'm brilliantly positioned, this fella is still going to be onside. So the best thing to do, in my opinion, is to go with him. Just go with him and do something. But he doesn't, Shawnee.
You're 100% wrong. I'll tell you why. Trent is coming out. You can't go out and go back. If you go out and go back, forget playing a high line. Drop down, drop back 15 yards.
But Kev, he comes out and...
You're not playing the fucking PlayStation.
This isn't a bit... Hold on, don't patronise me, Sean, about the PlayStation. What I'm saying is... Hold on a minute. As a defender, he's coming out, and you're saying he's banging in line with the rest of his defence, bar Matip. What I'm saying to you is, you have to have some sort of awareness as a defender. I'm not saying Trent had a bad game. What I'm saying is, if he comes out and he sees that and says, I'm banging line, but he's not, right? So let me put it this way. If the ball is played in by Cancelo and Matip happens to be really slow coming out, right? And Trent's coming out, surely Trent looks and goes, that cunt's still on the 6-yard line. I can't let this fella move. Now, it's minimal stuff. It's wafer thin stuff. I get all that. But part of me thinks, I'm not saying Matip should have been up quicker. I'm not denying that for a second. But Trent has to take some sort of responsibility in the fact that he sees the line. He knows Matip is off. And he probably has to bail his mate out.
When you look at how close the margins were, you're talking 2 or 3 inches. If you're looking along the 18-yard line and trying to gauge a couple of inches here and there, forget it. You're going to trust that you're right.
Yeah, but we don't play the high line to stop play and catch them. We play a high line thinking that if they're offside, VAR will catch it. So I think Trent had a responsibility to go back and put pressure on
maybe
Jesus.
when the ball was in the air, he should have gone back. But once the ball was played, his hand went up. He was already on the way out. He was still moving out.
You're literally timing the stepping up on the minute that the second that fella is striking the ball.
Like Jerry Carl says, Trent looks shocked to see Jesus behind him or Jesus behind him. Why?
Jeez.
It doesn't matter why. The fact of the matter is, the fella who was literally the last man was kept on side by John Matip.
100%. That's 100%. There's no doubt about that. But there's no doubt about that. But listen, come here and I tell you. If that's the case, Shawnee, when Liverpool play a defensive line or an offside trap or whatever you want to call it, if one fella is fucking not in line, right, and the ball goes through, the rest of them just decide, well, he's not in line, there's nothing to fucking do with me.
No, because that's not the way it works.
Trent is coming out, looking across the line, Shawnee, and he doesn't know that he knows that line isn't right. He knows he's right.
Okay.
All right, we'll just talk. Just tell me.
You're going around the houses now.
And we move on.
You're getting upset over it.
Relax. No, I'm not upset over it.
Yeah, snapping.
No, I'm not. You're snapping over it because I'm telling you the fella is wrong, and you're calling me. It's saying it's on PlayStation. But anyway,
Woods just chipped in from the bunker on the 18th.
Who?
To finish. Rory McIlroy just chipped in from the bunker on the 18th green to finish on 7 under.
It won't be enough.
It won't be. It might not be enough, but I tell you, it's some shot.
How many holes did the other fella got?
Too many.
Yeah.
I think he's on 12.
Okay, he's not
3 shots ahead.
Look, we go in 2-1 down, and you're thinking changes. You're thinking, what are the obvious changes? What could we do to change this? Break the press. Could we do something better up front? The ball wasn't sticking, as you've all said. Shawnee, it's some fucking start to the second half, though. You know, we play that ball we always play. out wide, look to win a second ball off it. It's a brilliant pass by Salah, and Walker gets caught, and he gets caught really well by Mane. The timing of the run is perfect, and it's a brilliant finish.
Yeah, it's one of the only times in the game where we kind of played through the little press, Trent's little ball into Salah, takes a few out of the game, and it's a brilliant pass and brilliant finish from Mane, who, to be honest with you, I would have hooked at half time because I thought he was deplorable.
He was probably the one that I wasn't sticking to most, in fairness.
Yeah, and I think he goes on to, he was our best player in the second half.
Yeah, I think he was as well.
I thought he was brilliant in the second half, but yeah, just well taken goal and probably a shock to the system. But again,
they were freaked.
We didn't kick on though.
No,
that's we do. After that, I don't really. There's the one that goes off. That goes out for a should be corner and they check for.
No, Jota has a chance just after that, doesn't he? We have about 5 minutes. I think Jota gets one where Salah cuts in and Jota hits one at the other fella. But yeah, you're right. We didn't push him.
Just we didn't really. And I was saying, like, I was thinking to myself, if we get the next goal in this game, we'll win it. Because if we claw them back twice, we'll win it. Because I didn't think it was possible for us to be worse in the second half. And we did improve. I think everybody up there, I think even Fabinho was better in the second half. And Mo was better, as seen by the pass. And
the pass
you could tell Pep was you could see Pep going, for fuck's sake, like, you can't just shake this. But yeah, it's mad. It's mad how he hung into that fucking game now that I think about it. Because I haven't really, I normally look back on the highlights around, but I've just, my head has been fried since I even watched the post-match after, which I don't normally do. But yeah, it was a brilliant goal. We cut right through them, and I thought there was going to be more of that in the second half, but we let them off. We let them back into the game then too soon.
Keith, we get it back to 2-2, and then it's literally like, because we score fucking 40 seconds into the second half, whatever it is, and it's literally like, right, it's a 45-minute shootout, and I was never seeing the game finish in 2-2. I just couldn't. I thought City were making chances, as you're seeing. We weren't at our best. We had players come off the bench that could influence it, but like you said, up to about 52, 53 minutes, we were getting chances. We were getting at them. Trent was getting much more advanced, I thought. Chris says Jota clean through and Ederson should score. You could never see this finishing 2-2, could you?
No. I think you go in. The timing of goals is always huge, and to score that soon in the second half, you could see Pep's reaction on the sideline when it goes in. He's fucking sitting on his chair. His head's in his hand.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Everything is gone. And that's where I felt Seany was right. We didn't put the pressure on. We did. Jota does have that chance, but there's your opportunity to really put your foot on the throat, because we weren't great today. Certainly in the first half, I'd say we were diabolical in the first half, to be totally honest. Much better second half. Their defence is fucking brutal. Do you know what I mean? Seany touched on it earlier. Kyle Walker bails them out an awful lot because of his pace and power. That he's not just quick, he's strong as well. So while he might not, I don't think he's a great defender as such, but he can get his body into things and he can win the ball that way, and he covers a lot up for them. When we look to attack them and threat, I thought Ederson today was fucking brutal. I thought
the one off the
backs were brutal.
The one off the line was fucking mad.
But on the both goals, I thought he was brutal. Do you know, I just thought with the ball, I don't think he's as good as he has been, and that's what makes it all the more frustrating, because you get that goal on the 46th minute or whatever, and you can see, right, when we play through these, we're getting joy. So let's just play through them. And we never capitalised on it. We never pushed it home. We never made a concerted effort to keep going at them. And I know you can say it's easier said than done, but when a team is rocking, and we've seen it with ourselves, when a team is rocking and you're on the ropes, sometimes there can be an inevitability that you're going to concede if the pressure keeps getting applied, and we just never done it. And maybe that's down to the fact that the players were just 5 or 10% off it. The key players. Seany hit the nail on the head earlier when he said about Alisson, Van Dijk and Fabinho. That's the spine of our team, and no matter what happens up top, but they are spine, and they're so reliable. So reliable. I've never seen a game where they've all been off it. And today, they weren't great. And we just couldn't get a foothold in it. I thought Henderson gets a lot of stick. He was trying to run, wasn't doing much with the ball. Thiago had a few nice touches, but he wasn't getting into the game. He wasn't impacting it. We had a chance that if we had gone at them, I felt we could have got goals. I felt there was more goals in the game. But instead, we have 5 or 6 minutes after that. We're putting a little bit of pressure on without doing that. But then we let City get the momentum again. We let City get the foot on the ball again. We let City play and get comfortable again. And then they do get the chance, the offside goal. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, why? We're better second half, but we are still not playing to our strengths. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we were a 2 out of 10 in the first half, we're a 6 out of 10 in the second half, but we're not playing to the strengths that we know we could have done. And I don't know what it's down. I can't pinpoint what it's down to. Obviously, Klopp put a rocket up to them at half time because they do come out better. They do come out less sloppy with the ball. Do you know what I mean? Van Dijk is making better passes out. Diagonals are a bit sharper than they were in the first half. Trent is getting more involved in the attacking side of it. But we just never really got the foothold in the game, and it just let them come back in. You can't allow Man City into a game. At the end of the day, we all think Liverpool are a great team, right? There's a lot of fans and people out there that just constantly have to moan about Liverpool. We think Liverpool are a great team, but we also think Man City are a great team. And you cannot give a team like City the momentum to get back into the game. You have to kill them when you can. And I just felt that we didn't take the chances to put them down, because they opened up the goal. They opened up like the Red Sea at the back. You know, it was a great ball by Mo, but
it's 40 seconds in.
And it's on. It's a ball that you're looking at and you're saying, well, this is fucking there for all to see. Play that ball and he's in. And they just never tried it again, and that was the frustrating thing. You know, we didn't create too many chances in that second half.
Kev, does the goal early? It obviously, Pep looks fucking distraught at it, and you can see even I think it's Walker that goes into the goal after the ball and lashes it in at the net in frustration. Yeah. It definitely throws City, because I think City might have looked and went, listen, we just sit back a little bit here and we try to pick them off because we're 2-1 up, and we trust ourselves, especially with Liverpool's high line. Does it throw Liverpool as well? You know, bar the 5 minutes after the goal where we're really good, Liverpool are probably thinking we'd have to get better and better and we might get something, but Liverpool gets something immediately. Does it throw what Klopp might have said at half-time as well?
I don't know, because he must have that was the most important half-time talk he's given this season. You know, it was, and he wasn't in there that long. You know, apparently he came out after the game and said he showed them the goal that we scored and basically just said, play like this, you know, play it wide, get your passing together. And then they went out and done that. And they went at it then for 5-10 minutes. They were really pushing, and City got possession back and held it in our final third again. And we almost got into a position, look, no matter what happens, we're not conceding anymore. You know, and I think the rocket out the arse, what scared the shit out of us then was Sterling going through and slotting that one. Even though it was offside, it was only just. No, it was only just offside. Yeah. But just offside is.
I was fucking delighted he was offside. His celebration,
Jesus Christ! But I think that was the point in the game where they said, "We're coming out of here with a point at least." You know, if we get something else, great. But at the bare minimum, we're coming out of here with a point, and we're staying alive. And I can't knock the second half performance, because for how bad it's difficult when you have a bad half like that to pick yourself up and be better. We've seen plenty of sides who can't do it, or there's an awful lot of sides would have gone to the Etihad under that kind of pressure and that kind of level of performance and got absolutely torn to shreds, and heads would have dropped and they'd have been, oh, we gave it a go. You know, it was far from it. We rode our luck, you know, no doubt about it. We rode our luck. City threw away 3 points, in my opinion, with some of the decisions that they made. But the goals that we scored were good goals, you know, and over the 2 games this season, 4-4, you know, there is not much in this. You know, for all of our lambasting of our performances, we're still taking points off them. You know, our record at the Etihad isn't that good either.
I'd probably rate City against us as probably 8 out of 10 over the 2 games. We're probably rated about 6 or 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And there's still nothing in it, I think. But it's just, there's so much ebb and flow to this game where the smallest
We
thing,
know we
managers
can
react.
do better.
The managers know there's like a cigarette paper between it. And I'm not even talking the results. I'm talking every little incident in the game, every missed chance, every stray pass. It all counts. Every bit of it counts in this game because that's how close they are. Seany, a few people in the chat have said about the substitutions, the timing of them, who came on, who went off. And Rames with a super chat says, do we think we got a bit leggy in the last 20 minutes? What did you make of the subs? I thought Keita for Henderson was fine. Diaz was always going to come on. Like, what did you make of them? Did you think we looked a bit leggy in the last 20?
Yeah, but that's to be expected. We've played in 3 games since Christmas. The players are in the red. It's going to be happening. They've done an awful lot of chasing the ball today, so it's to be expected. Obviously, I would have liked Diaz and Bobby to have more of an impact. I think Diaz going to have a couple of nice touches, but he never really took Walker down the line or inside making those runs that we've seen now that have been kind of part of his game where he kind of darts out and comes inside and it causes havoc, and he didn't really get a chance to affect the game. Look, the game was on a knife edge. It was going either way. I felt it was a real midfield battle in the last 20. They were kicking each other up in the air for the last 20 midfielders. I think nearly every one of them were booked.
Was that part of the fear, Seany? Don't let a fella in midfield get a second.
I just think,
on both sides, I mean.
I think the longer the game dragged on, it was there was sort of a shaking of the hands and picking up your ball and going home sort of mentality to it, where they were like, all right, so we could win this game. And they nearly win it with the last attack of the game, but there was sort of a, right, let's not leave ourselves 2 out. But it's mad that you heard Neville, and Neville said he was puking watching it. He said, I was looking at it going, oh, you're too high, get back in. But it's just fearless stuff.
That's what someone said earlier.
The conversation he had at the end
it was a
Mika Richards was very good.
But he said
it was brilliant. I thought, look, again, I actually thought Taylor was good today. I thought he let the game run. I think we were lucky.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a red card on Fabinho.
Yeah, someone says there, Muzza asks, do you think the Fabinho thing, and just on Neville,
he could have got done for 2 yellows.
But someone says in the chat, like, it was a mad game of football, literally both defences 10 yards inside their own half, and just.
I think the last 20 was, it was mad. Like, look at Bernardo Silva's foul on Robertson. It's gas. Like, he's like, right, he's away. I'm just gonna kick him.
Yeah.
Like, and you can't really.
And then complains about it to the ref.
Oh, like, because they're just like, right, I'm not letting him break.
Yeah.
They just start kicking each other. The Bruyne just kicks. Look, if I can't get on, I'm going to get the play. I'm going to take him down, and we'll just get a shape and we go from here. We don't want
professional yellow cards, as they call them, Seany.
And that's the way it was. It got real scruffy towards the end, and that's probably the bit of the game I enjoyed the most, to be honest with you.
At least they showed a bit of fight. Yeah, I enjoyed it as well.
We battled our arse off in the end, and going away from home, that's all you can really do.
We earned the point. In the end, we earned the point.
Yeah, and people saying we gave City too much respect. They command that respect. Like, you're not talking about a decent Chelsea side here, or like these are our equal. Yeah. Like, we're the 2 best teams in Europe.
Yeah,
gonna get like that. It reminded me of Jose and Pep's Barca and Real sort of game where there's quality all over the pitch, and there's times when you need to be dirty or you need to be cynical, and we were, and that was one of the real worries I actually had about this game, because that's something they seem to do well and get away with. We don't normally play that game, but
Fernandinho's not allowed to get a yellow card,
and I think that's why we got the point in the end, because we were a little bit more. We weren't as naive as we can be in those big games where you just let a player run past you. We were doing
Thiago's good at it, isn't he? Thiago's a player that's
Thiago should have got sent off, but fucking Rodri pushes him into the challenge.
Yeah, exactly. He was airblading free.
Yeah, I think Taylor was determined not to be the story today.
Yeah,
and I thought he was
right. He did well. The only thing that he got wrong was the One
The
that
corner.
went out for a corner.
Yeah.
ridiculous.
How can he not get that?
It was
They're doing
ridiculous.
a VAR check for the handball, and he thinks
Yeah,
it
they
didn't
couldn't.
hear
The
anything.
VAR couldn't do anything about it. Once he'd made the decision, they can't
Yeah.
say, "Oh, by the way, it's a corner."
It was
I
Yeah,
ridiculous.
but I
thought-
think
I wish they
by
could.
the
but,
way, the VAR check for the deflection off an arm.
Yeah.
No,
We
it
saw-
hit his knee corner.
Yeah.
We
I
stalled.
know, but they can't do
Mike
that,
Bruyne is
unfortunately.
probably not watching this, but he was good today.
Yeah, I think he done very well.
Yeah, Taylor.
And-
was-
I think he's fast becoming the best referee in England, to be honest. I think he's
And
becoming the number one ref.
Oliver is so clear. I think.
I think
Mike
he's-
Oliver is so clear.
I think we were looking back on that. One thing I said, I wouldn't have slept for a week if we were done like Arsenal were yesterday for an offside. Like I
I didn't see
genuinely,
it. I haven't
I
seen
would have
it.
eaten me alive.
The
But-
offside for Arsenal
Martinelli
yesterday, they were
one?
looking to see who made contact with
Yeah.
it, weren't they? Before it went, and Martinelli scores.
Yeah, you're getting into territory where the fella's on the bleeding line and you're saying he hasn't advanced. Like, yeah, I know it's.
Do you
Come
think
on.
the Martinelli one was a controversial one?
It was pure guesswork.
You see, I think the problem with the Keith is when it goes over.
You
and the
can't
head
see
goes
where
on.
Cucurella's foot is, so you kind of just say, I think
Yeah.
it's there. Do you get me?
That's fair.
From-
Yeah, that's
from that
fair.
angle. Do you get me? Like, you can't
Yeah,
see
yeah,
where.
yeah.
You couldn't see
No,
where.
I get that point. Yeah, I get that point.
He-
All right.
obviously he's offside,
You're looking
but-
through. Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't know where the
like,
foot is.
They didn't know where this fucking foot was. Like,
Yeah,
let's
but
stop it.
listen, it doesn't matter. Arsenal have teed me up lovely for tomorrow night to win the division, so that's the main thing.
No, I thought Taylor was good today.
Yeah, no, I
thought
think
you
he
had-
was. I think
he could have been thrown. He could have sent a couple off.
And
Yeah.
your man on the VAR, was there still that shite bag on VAR?
Yeah.
Paul Tierney.
Paul
Yeah.
You
Tierney,
know,
yeah.
he could have. That was what I was more worried about. Was Tierney on VAR could have done stuff.
making a name for
Both the-
himself.
Well, without
Or-
could have done it on the background without being the centre of attention. You know what I mean? They could have laid and done 100 lines on that offside and let that go. You know what I mean? But I think maybe the pressure Klopp put on.
This
by
league could still
calling
be
him
decided by a referee's decision. It's that
Well,
close.
look, if they're the point
You know,
ahead.
there's a point. It's a point in it.
And look at the
Again,
decision.
again,
they got.
can turn. Yeah, look at the exactly that. You know, there's 7
Aye.
games to go, and anything can happen. Anything can happen. The way this league goes in Premier, you wouldn't write down that any side is going to win their last 7 games of a season. It's difficult enough going on a run at the best of times when you're fresh, you know. But by the end of May, both City and Liverpool are going to be battered and beaten up. You know, the squads are going to be absolutely red to the bone. And then, by the way, going off on in the season tour somewhere, you know what I mean? But yeah, look, it's going to be crazy, and it is far from done. That's the best thing about today. If we'd have lost, it was over.
And I think Seany said it. I think maybe Seany during the week, and he said this could be the launch pad. Was it you, Seany? I think it was.
Yeah.
The launch pad, and it could affect a couple of different competitions. It's kind of on ice now. Next Saturday will probably determine. It could next Saturday will determine an FA Cup, but it could determine how we feel in the Champions League. Does it affect our league? It's listen, I've a load of bleeding Xanax here. If you need them, Seany, for next
serious
Saturday.
changes.
Um,
You wanted to talk about Benfica in the week in the FA Cup. There's going to have to be some serious changes in the squad.
I think you'll see the change against Benfica. I
Yeah.
think it'll go fairly similar next Saturday.
I'd like to say that the
I don't know, because the turnaround to the Man United game is quick.
Yeah,
Today was a knockout game as well without the. It's got to go to penalties on Saturday, isn't it?
no, I think it'll be
Yeah.
a winner after 90.
Do you
I think it
think?
will.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus,
I think
Midweek plays a big part in it, I think, because even though City are 1-0 up against Atletico, we know they're going to be dogs in that bleeding stadium. Do you know what I mean? So if they can take something out of City, and if we can get through Benfica without making it hard for ourselves, it could give us the edge. But look, we just have to hope that Atletico tear lumps out of them. If they get through that, you have to hope that Real take lumps out of them, and that's when City will nearly take their eye off the ball. Do you know what I mean? That they have all these big ones coming up, do you know, and
They think
hopefully
they
that'll
can
be the
take luxuries or take liberties against in the Premier League. You never know.
yeah.
You look at their bench today. I think they had 2 or 3 kids on the bench today.
Yeah,
No,
and Sam
so-
Tandy says there, like, he makes
They're
a
going to
good
be
point.
tested.
5 subs, 5 subs Wednesday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Everyone will play some part, and that's where even with Kev was saying the turnaround to United will be quick after the FA Cup game. That's where you use your squad again throughout this week with those 5 subs.
Yeah.
And you, without weakening yourself, you can keep it as fresh as possible going into United next Tuesday, isn't it? The Tuesday week.
Tuesday night.
Put it this way, they have a far tougher game midweek than we do.
Yeah. Plus they're away and we're home. It's a reverse of last week.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Man of the match, boys. Kev, I'll let you go first.
Tough one. I thought Mo was actually okay today. And that slide rule ball to Sadio, that was a really good pass. That was perfectly weighted. Either stuff. Yeah, Keith, you're right. You can see it on the telly a mile off. But to see it on the pitch and weight it after getting a rocket shove up your arse at halftime and within a few seconds of the start of the second half, I'd give it to Mo.
I would give it to Joel Matip. I thought he was really good. Today. And as much as we've railed about Trent, I thought he's done really well on the right hand side. And he came to the forward in the second half, especially when we kind of got that upper hand for the first 5-10 minutes of the second half. I like Trent, but I'll probably just go with Matip. Keith?
It's a tough one. I go Thiago because I like this little bit of snidiness in the second half, and I think we needed a bit of snidiness.
He loves it.
But it's just, he wasn't a standout performer. There wasn't a standout for me today. But look, Matip was good. We argued about him being at fault on the goal. Everyone has a fault today, which is unusual for us. But I just like the snidiness in the second half that Thiago showed, which we don't usually see, as we touched on already.
Yeah. Seany, man of the match.
Yeah, I thought in the 90 Matip was very good. I think he was our best defender, but I thought Mane was unreal in the second half. I thought he really lifted his game. Some of his touches in the second half, it's mad because he was literally Jekyll and Hyde.
He was in competition with our first half, Seany.
He got the ball. You get the ball bouncing out in the first half, and the ball seemed to stick to him in the second half. And I was surprised that he comes off, doesn't he?
Mane,
He
comes off for Bobby.
Yeah, which I thought, I was surprised because he looked up for it in the second half. The ball was sticking to him, but I thought Matip was really good. But I'll give it to Mane for the second half because, to be honest with you, the first half, I don't think any of them really covered themselves in glory.
No, that's fair.
If I'm going on overall man of the match, the Bruyne is just...
Yeah, the Bruyne was deadly.
He reminds me so much of Steven Gerrard. It's untrue. I think he's unbelievable.
He's huge for such a good squad, which is really good. I think he's huge to them.
Absolutely.
The driving force he brings. And I'm not, listen, he's great technically, free kicks, corners, shooting, passing, whatever. It's the driving force. There's no one else in that City side for me that takes it and just goes, I'm going 30 yards with this right through the middle of something. And I don't give a fuck who's in my way. And that's where I think the biggest Gerrard thing for me is, Seany. They're both brilliant technically, but just to see how direct he is, and just he's so fucking strong and just so direct and so just drives them forward. Do you know what I mean? I think he's unbelievable.
He's a great player.
Sleeping Dragons is great to see supporting you Irish Reds. Great to hear his perspective from across the water. You'll never walk alone. Does anyone in here believe in ghosts as Vase of Flowers? Vase of Flowers is he's on one tonight. Let's put it that way. I want to just leave Benfica because we'll talk about them over the next couple of nights. But just the last one, Kev. Do we go into next Saturday with a bit of a point to prove after today? And does it give us extra confidence that we didn't play great, but we stayed with them? Does it have any effect on next Saturday?
I think we'll want to go into it and not repeat the mistakes we made. And they'll analyse this game to the nth degree over the next few days. Mm-hmm. And it'll be in the players' heads. They'll want to put it right. They'll want to put the performance right. If you put a performance in against City and you get beat, fine. That happens. But like Sean was saying earlier on, over the 2 games we've played this season, 2 draws, and we haven't played well in either of them. I just want us to play well. I just want us turn up on the day, play well. Have standout performances, and if we win, fine, great, happy days, delighted. If we lose, okay, I'll live with it. But put in a performance for once, because I don't think we've been playing well. I don't think our performance has been at a level for a good few weeks now.
Okay.
Keith,
does it have any effect for you?
Look, I think City, we've said before, we see the wobble coming in Man City, but I think the reality is you're talking about, I think we've all said it, the 2 best teams in Europe, therefore the 2 best teams in the world. Will it have an effect on them? Quite possibly, quite possibly. They played, they were the better team today, they were at home, they gave up a lead twice. The first time they've not won a game, isn't it? Because they never shut up about that when they've gone ahead.
The first time they've dropped points this season after they've gone ahead, I think, yeah.
Little things like that might play into them, but we're talking about the elite of the elite here. So will it impact them? I think it'll impact us more. I think we have to look at that today and say, look, we weren't great today. We got a point out of it. We weren't great in Anfield against them, and we got a point out of it. If we can play great against these, we can get more. Obviously, it's not for a point on Saturday, but we can get the result we need on Saturday. So I just want to see us maybe looking at it a bit. Forget City. City play well today. They didn't play great today. They played okay today. But if they play like that next week, it depends how we play whether they'll win. Do you know what I mean? If we play the way we can do, which we haven't done in a while, let's be honest. But if we can play the way we can do, we beat that City team, in my opinion. But it's up to us, It's really up to us. They're a great side. They're Pep Guardiola. I've said it. He's a genius, and we know we often slag him. He's a bit of a weirdo. He goes on. He's a bit of a bleeding head melter. Really angry, like his high five to Klopp at the end and all that. I found a bit weird. I seen someone saying on Twitter it was like, meeting your ex-girlfriend's new partner at a barbecue, sort of high five, a real angry, passive-aggressive job. But he's brilliant. He's fucking brilliant. And we think Jurgen Klopp is brilliant. And they're the 2 best managers in the world of football. So Pep Guardiola's going to know these will be better next week. But we just have to go in and be better than them. And hopefully we can do it.
Okay.
I'm confident we do it, by the way. I think we do.
Seany, does it have any effect on next Saturday? And do you think you'll get through next Saturday unscathed?
I think it's like we're kicking the can down the road today, didn't we, really? We kind of said, we'll see you next Saturday. I think it's psychologically next Saturday is huge again. And to be honest with you, I think midweek is huge for them as well, because Champions League is the elephant in the room for them. Let's not forget that. And if they were to go out with that, I don't know how they'll react, to be honest with you, because that's the one he was brought in to win, really. And I think if that's off the table again, then you're gonna Pep will start going galaxy brain. And he could well do that next Saturday. I think he's more likely to make changes next weekend than Klopp is, to be honest.
I think you might see something similar from Klopp that you've seen today for next Saturday.
Yeah, it's huge. Look, it's huge at Wembley as well. I reckon that we'll have the lion's share of the support there. I don't think they were still trying to sell tickets at the game today.
Well, Liverpool were given an extra 1,500 during the week.
That's absolutely no surprise, basically, because they are what they are, of course. But
they're carry on in this whole lead up to this game about lowering Liverpool's allocation and keeping the fans behind. It just shows a mentality within the club that they're trying to gain these little wins against Liverpool.
Well, they had to keep Liverpool fans behind because the reason that they reduced the allocation was they said it was a dangerous game or a fucking whatever. I don't know what the fuck it's no different than anything else, or any other game we've played against them. But look,
see, we can rotate. We have a little bit more room to rotate on Wednesday. It's Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because not only because we have a lead, I actually think that our options are a little bit better in certain areas than City's. Like, he played Jesus today, which was a surprise to me. He won't play Jesus away to Atletico.
No.
So I don't know.
You'll see Mahrez come back in there, I'd say.
This is like, we were looking at the month of April as just being absolutely bonkers, and
it is.
it's proven to be. To be honest, it's so hard to call any of this. Two teams are in the exact same. They're in the exact same boat here. We fucking and it's mental. Like, I hope I never have to go through this again as a Liverpool fan.
Well, Johnny, if they win all 4, you won't give a fuck about anything else from here on in, I'd say.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to leave it there. Anyone worried that me and Shawnee are falling out? We're not friends anymore. We are. Don't worry about it. We'll be absolutely fine.
The loser gets me in the divorce.
Imagine getting you in a divorce. Imagine me and Shawnee divorced and they're like, right, Keith's moving in with you.
The unlucky winner
just vodka and Red Bull everywhere. Anyway, Kev, anything else before we go?
Yeah, the bet, mate. How sick was that?
We were 1 point away from winning £66. We were.
Oh, boys.
Yeah, 1 point. Well, I wasn't. The boys were at a picture on Friday night.
Yeah, 1 point.
1 point away. And BetMate were not slow about letting us know that we were taking. Anthony O'Chill says, Gavin, Shawnee about to log off, play PlayStation together. Yeah, it's a good chance of it.
Normally what happens, to be fair.
That's normally what happens.
I think that's bad. It gets hairier in there even.
Yeah, like, if you think we're gonna stop talking over this, you should see the stuff we say to each other on Xbox. Keith, the unfortunate present in a divorce, is there anything you would like to say? Anything else before we go?
No, the quad is still on. I'm all up for it. Let's go.
Good stuff. Shawnee, anything else before we go?
No, just 7 to go in the league and still all to play for. We just kicked the can down the road. I am seriously starting to worry for my mental well-being because today was bleeding torture. Honestly, it's a gift and a curse at the same time. It's mad. I just wish these weren't cheating fuckers. I wish there's an alternative universe somewhere where Guardiola doesn't exist and City are in League One and we're winning loads of league titles. So I want to try bleeding. Beam me up, Scotty, and bring me there because I can't stand them shower of shites, to be honest.
Archie Dillon says, I hope Shawnee goes through this every year. He's passionate. Of course he is. He's mentally passionate. Chris Brack says, please check out the women's show interview with Emma Sanders discussing LFC's women's promotion. Yeah, that's on our YouTube channel as well. Go and check that out. It's a good chat between Chris and Emma. And of course, Liverpool women winning the league title and will play in the Premier League next season. They discuss everything from the key players, results next season. There's loads going on in there. So, yeah, go and check that out. Féileacáin is our charity partner. We have started to pick up a few donations over the last couple of days, which is great to see. The link is in the description. If you want to donate, please do so and help us get us to that €10,000. As I've said before, and I'll continue to say, €10,000 will literally fund this charity for years. That's how big it is to them. As I said, links in the description. If you can donate, great. If you can't, please share it across your social media, your friends, your family, your colleagues and stuff. Kev's laughing at something. What are you laughing at, Kev? Tom Boland. Oh, okay. Tom Boland says, lads, who banned the hookers? Well, it was weird because we were talking about divorces and Keith being, up
for grabs available.
Loser, and next of all, there was sexy chats arrived in. So they're obviously listening on us. But you just can piss off. You aren't getting Keith. Me and Shawnee have dibs on him.
Like Charles Manson, the yard, he heard there was a waif and stray hanging around the bus station, and he said he'd swoop in and take him off your hands.
But you're not getting
not that easy.
Because of course, Keith he'd bring you smokes, and he'd definitely bring you vodka and Red Bull. So there you go. That has been the Fatback 4. Thanks a million to Kev, Shawnee, Keith, everyone in the chat. It's been amazing. Liverpool have drawn away at Man City. The league title is still up for grabs. There's 7 to go. Benfica during the week. Man City again, the FA Cup next weekend. We've loads of content coming throughout the week for you. Make sure to check it out. If you haven't subscribed, do so. Hit the like button on your way out. Share it amongst your friends. But most importantly, check out Féileacáin and help us out with it. That's it. Over now.